Живой.
I'm alive.
Живой. Привет.
Вам
Что
подарили
ты такое?
ордена Великой Отечественной. Вот когда был Беларусь,
Да.
а там не было медалей. Ну, и ребята,
Значит,
вот здесь,
медали.
вот здесь плюс все медали Великой
Спасибо.
Отечественной войны, которые были на
Спасибо.
территории Беларуси.
Наш музей.
Thank you. Thank you for visiting. It is very important. I want to hear from the first mouths what is happening in Moldova, because we mostly receive all your events from the media. Of course, there are other people who inform us, but it is important to hear from you the situation and situation. You know my attitude to Moldova. This is a flowering garden in which beautiful people live, hardworking people, very similar to Belarusians. Unfortunately, it so happened that it is very difficult for me to visit Moldova because of the policy that you are carrying out there now. I see. Therefore, when I found out that you would be with us, I thought a lot about Moldova, remembered our meetings, remembered how we tried to sow good seeds there. They say we did well. I will repeat once again that we are always ready to cooperate with Moldova. But the biggest thing that scared me was the talk in Moldova about the alleged loss of independence of Moldova and the inclusion of a neighboring state. A disaster. But I do not believe this, because the inhabitants of Moldova, especially the people of Chisinau, are not stupid. And there is no people who would lose their independence on their own. Therefore, I hear this, but I do not believe it. But I would like to know how our brothers in Moldova still live. I would very much like there to be order, so that you can survive these difficult times. Unfortunately, you are torn from us by the war. Logistics have become complicated, but the world is calm. There are no hopeless situations. Therefore, if the leadership of Moldova, the people of Moldova, have a desire to return to our cooperation and multiply it, Igor Nikolaevich, know that you are not a stranger to us there. We are ready to restore everything that has been lost over the years through you. My advice to you is not to break into any alliances. Nobody is waiting for you anywhere. You saw how the Europeans loved Ukraine, for example. As soon as Ukraine wanted to plant a grain through the European Union, it began to be blocked. Ukraine was not allowed to bring it. Even in Africa, Ukraine could not plant this grain, according to the information we received. Do you think the Moldovans are waiting for a special relationship? It will be the same with agricultural products, with wine, and so on. Before you, when you were the president, you already went through all this. I remember when you had to break through the window and come back to the east, to Belarus, to Russia, so that the people of Moldova could live. Therefore, my advice to you is to value your land. There is no more beautiful corner in the world than Moldova. It seems to me so. I know that I have been to Chisinau many times, and not only in Chisinau. It is a very beautiful, very kind, very decent people. I would like there to be fewer problems. If something depends on us, both in this situation and in the future, we will be with our friends. Moreover, it is not difficult to restore our relations. The way is clear. We know what Moldova needs. You know us well. We have always been obligatory in our relations with you, and we are ready to act in this regard.
I am very glad to meet you again. I want to assure you right away that Moldovan citizens, not the current authorities, but Moldovan citizens, consider Belarusians their brothers. Alexander Lukashenko, in the first lines, supported the leaders of other countries within the Republic of Moldova in all polls. We want to restore our strategic dialogue, as it was when we were engaged in our bilateral relations. We regret that for the last 3 or 4 years, there has been practically no agreement between our countries. This has affected our trade, logistics from Ukraine, but the situation is changing for the better. We will talk about it today. Last year, there was a so-called referendum. Most of the citizens living inside the country voted against the integration of the European Union. Moldovans want to be friends with the whole world, and with Europe, of course, not our neighbors. But without Russia, without the CIS, without Eurosys, I want to thank you once again. In 2018, you and the leaders of the Eurosys supported that Moldova received a status of an observer. We are the first country in the world to receive an Eurosas status. Unfortunately, the current authorities do not use it. Today, in Minsk, I signed an inter-party agreement with the White Russia Party. As the head of the Socialist Party, I am the leading political force of our country. Therefore, in terms of politics, we began to cooperate in order to establish good political ties.